on your smart speakers and on the website and live right now on the Facebook page. Brilliant to chat to Fionn, a real welcome guest. And she's so passionate about her sport, Gord, isn't she? And talks really well
Yeah.
about her love of cricket and football.
Yeah, it's lovely to see as well, Ben. And she's a cracking character, and she's really good in cricket, and obviously she's a brilliant goalkeeper as well in for Carmarthen Town. And yeah, and she's so refreshing. She
It
can't
is
wait to play.
refreshing.
It
Yeah,
is, isn't
It
it?
is.
It is.
We're in a supposed era now where we're supposed struggling to keep youngsters interested
Yeah,
in sports, especially keeping them on a cricket field for days on end. So to
yeah.
see someone come along with an attitude like that who genuinely enjoys it,
She's really committed to her sport. It's great.
yeah, no, it's great to see. I mean, you mentioned pre-season football and cricket preparations and rugby as well. I should say Haverford County are playing their second friendly inside 3 days, actually. They
I
played on
know.
Saturday, didn't
I
they?
know.
And they're playing again this evening at Llandarcy Academy of Sport against Ynys and that was a 7:30 kickoff. But that's quite a
Yeah,
method,
but
isn't it?
we're not
Successive
far
games.
from August, boys, are we? And it
No.
starts early August,
Yeah.
the premiere. So yeah, they got to get it done.
Yeah, no, you're right, and they're down in my neck of the woods actually playing Gloucester City in a couple of weeks as well. So I'll be
You
hopefully
better pop
catching up
down
with.
and have a look then.
Yeah, catch up with Tony Pennock at that one, no doubt
Yeah.
about it. Right, quick mention in the first division in the cricket at the weekend. It seemed more of a bowler's day, didn't it? There were some really good bowling performances. Of course, Carew had a really easy win. They bowled Saunders for out for 43, but Sean Whitfield took 3 for 2, and James Hinchcliffe took 4 for 6. There were also
Excellent bowling.
5 wickets for Dan James, as well as Loreni were bowled out by Cresselli. He took 5 for 16. Harry Thomas, in reply though for Loreni, he also took 5 for 16 in that game. So it was a funny one. We've seen runs scored in recent weeks, but it seemed a bowler's day on Saturday, didn't it?
There was actually a lot of rain about on Friday, which I think probably would have affected a lot of services and wickets.
Damp wickets.
Even though the sun came out, well, maybe it's just Llanrhian, but it was playing havoc. But I think batting was probably a day to bat second on Saturday. I would say about Care, I thought it was a funny decision. They're now 26, 27 points behind Neyland in a situation where they need every point going if they're going to catch them up. We're not Neyland aren't likely to slip up 2 or 3 times in 7 weeks. And they actually won the toss and opted to bowl, which denied them the chance to get maximum points.
Yes,
So despite having a very quick victory, they actually lost ground.
Are
on
they
Neyland.
resigned to the fact that the league is all over, Fraser?
I
Possibly?
mean, it may be in their heads. It'd be very surprising.
Or
if
did they want
dropped
to get
from
to
there.
the pub early to watch the England game?
that I could get on board with.
Yeah.
But it was Saturday, so it would be hell of
but
early
that's
to
what
get
I mean.
there.
Get to the pub early.
Yeah.
Some session that. Yeah. All right, sticking with cricket. Fraser, you were at Lord's, weren't you, last week for Jimmy Anderson's final appearance for England, and I watched it all, and it was brilliant, really. And I'll let you pay tribute, and then the question I had was, have we retired him too quickly? Because he's still doing the business, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the smartest I've been dressed up in about a decade to go in there actually to make sure I wasn't out of place and thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, an interesting debate, Ben. I thought that they got it just about right this summer. If he wasn't going to be pressing on to the next Ashes, you couldn't really afford to waste 6 tests on him just to give an emotional farewell at Old Trafford in August against Sri Lanka. You're denying yourself really their building for the future. And yet he was someone who merited some sort of farewell, and I thought it worked out quite well. But then you look at it wasn't the strongest opposition, the West Indies, but you look at some of the skill he bowled with, especially in that second innings, and you do wonder if he could still be, a player or certainly a bit part player at that level. But you are talking, someone who is over 40 now, who physically can't play back-to-back test matches, and that's quite crucial when you're talking about building with things like Ashes series and so on. So I think they've got the farewell just about right, I'll be honest with you.
Do you not think that there's an argument that actually let him play until the point where he can't justify his place in the team anymore? And if that means Ashes next year, aren't they? So
I thought we borderline got to that point in the last Ashes home series, to be honest with you,
100%.
Ben.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He took 7 wickets for Lancashire last week, by the way. 7 for 35, I think, didn't he?
That's not against Australia.
No, that's fair. What was the atmosphere like though, Fraser, as Lords said goodbye to Jimmy?
I was only actually there on day one, and they opted to bowl first, which got a cheer. With Lords, it tends to be a bit more sedate, unless wicket keepers are running out Johnny Bairstow, as we know from the summer. But on the whole, it's not quite so partisan. It tends to be a bit more respectable at market. I'm trying to use a phrase here without accusing anyone of being toffs, but I'm struggling quite badly. But no, a tremendous reception for him, obviously, and he just, longevity is a facet of greatness within sportsman, hasn't he? And he's been put on for the longest of them all, especially for a fast bowler, which is such a hazardous occupation physically now for him to go on that long and keep himself in that condition. Superb effort, really.
Best bowler of all time for to play Test cricket for England ever?
For England?
Has to be, doesn't he?
Yes. Ever?
Cool.
No.
Oh.
Okay. So best England Test bowler, but there've been better bowlers playing for other sides. Yeah, I think that he'd probably take that as well, would he not? I think he'd probably
take
agree.
that.
Yeah, I don't know. Who are you thinking specifically, Fraser?
Shane Warne.
Shane Warne. Okay.
Shane Warne. I still rate Glenn McGrath as a better, despite the stats. Glenn McGrath is a better fast bowler.
Dennis Lilly.
You could go back. Courtney Walsh right up there too.
Yeah.
One of the greatest
Andy Roberts.
Greatest sportsmen of all time, would you say, Jimmy?
I mean, one of the greatest sportsmen is a very subjective debate we could have all the time. He'd certainly be up there as one of the greatest British sportsmen of all time. Yeah, I'll go that far.
I think for longevity as well, and when you look at some of the stats of when he made his debut for England, I think he made his debut 2002, didn't he? Playing international cricket, and he had his hair with a red streak in it, paying tribute to Freddie Ljungberg, who was retiring a few years later, and Jimmy's now just retired in 2024. Like the stats are incredible. Nasser Hussain gave him his debut, and he's now obviously commentating for Sky and was in the dressing room with him. So it is incredible, and I think he has shown the way. And I do think you'd have to say, in terms of if you were doing top tens, he'd be there.
The Stuart Broad over the years, that was really, really strong. Yeah.
Some of the moments when they were getting tandem bowling together, and Broad in particular could bowl those spells. I think as a pair, I loved watching those two play for England. They were good. And what is interesting, Fraser, and I don't know if you picked up on this when you were there last week, he's going to be around the team, isn't he, for the rest of the summer? Mentoring.
You'd imagine if you wanted to go into coaching as well, fast bowling would be ideal to work with younger players about how to work a Duke's ball in England for sure. Certainly with swing and movement and skill. So I'd be very surprised he didn't stay in the setup long term. But I will throw this out there, Ben. I'll ask you a question, role reverse for a change, and then to Gordon. You get a name, your best British sportsman of all time. One name, who are you going for?
Well, that's a really good question. Go on, Gordon. Any sport.
Any sport.
The British. Best British. Oh, it's so hard to just pick one. Who would you say, Gord?
My hero was always George Best, because he was simply the best, mate.
Just good shout from Gordon. So Stephen Redgrave, I would go for.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
incredible.
I'd push an Olympian in there probably as well.
Well, you won't get a better.
Mo Farah. Mo Farah.
2 Olympics, 5 Olympics. He just said.
Yeah, Farah falls short for me.
Andy Murray?
No, just 2 Wimbledons. No, that's not good enough.
Yeah, just 3 Grand Slams.
I'd take one, mate.
2 Olympic gold medals.
And an Olympian, exactly.
And an Olympian.
Yeah, that's why I threw him in.
Murray up there, but still Redgrave above him for me.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't be a million miles off agreeing with you there, Fraser. I'd take Redgrave as well. Oh, this is a debate we might have to do in full in a few weeks' time, I think. Yeah, I think so. And we have not had time to think about it. And we've chucked out about 5 or 6 names already. I think we might have to come back to this in a few weeks' time. We'll give it some thought. In the meantime, Tom is saying we need to go, and we do need to go. Thank you very much, chaps. Enjoyed the show. It's going to be Danny and Jess on the 2-hour takeover on Pure West. Don't forget, Tom and Gina have got the new MP, Henry Tufnell, on the breakfast show tomorrow morning. Watch out for that. We will see you next Monday on Pure West Sport. Good night.